Welcome to Kiss the Reviews. I'm Armando. That's Corey. And today we're doing 1988's They Live. Before we get started, if you'd like to reach out to Corey or I on Twitter, you could reach out to me at Junior D's. You could reach out to Corey at Idle Poncho. And let's jump right into They Live, 1988. I will say one thing before we get into the cast of this.
Yes.
Such a great theme for the movie.
Oh, it's awesome.
Just a fantastic. I haven't seen this movie in ages, and I remembered what the movie was about, but it brought me back. It's just a great theme.
You're goddamn right.
I was thinking today that I couldn't think of a better movie that was a better metaphor for wealth inequality than this movie was.
Oh, absolutely.
Fantastic. And I really forgot. Like, obviously you're a kid, you're a dipshit. But when I watched this as a kid, all of that went right over my head. It was like, oh, it's fucking aliens, and Roddy Piper's killing them all.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure about at least 20% of Rage Against the Machine songs came from this movie.
Oh yeah. I think you can see Tom Morello as an extra.
So let's jump right in. They Live stars Roddy Piper as George Nada, Keith David as Frank, and Meg Foster as Holly.
Fun fact, I found Meg Foster again for the first time, I think since the last time I saw this movie, in Rob Zombie's 31.
Yes. And I'll say this, in this movie, Meg Foster's eyes, I think it's fair to say they're ghostly. They're so, like, pale blue.
Yeah, she looks like she's participating in the first Purge.
So, this movie takes place in Los Angeles. George Nada is a homeless laborer, I guess, that arrives in Los Angeles. He's looking for work. He visits the unemployment office. They have no job opportunities for him. Eventually, he finds work at a local construction site, and to which he works for, one day?
Yeah, one day and wants his money. Either I'm sleeping on this site or give me my fucking money. What I also thought was great, when he's in the welfare store, he's filling out the paperwork with that old lady, and he starts telling his whole life story. Like, I was working in Denver and everything was going fine. And then jobs dried up. And then 14 banks closed. And this bitch like, I don't care. I'm just filling out this paperwork, dude. Like, you're the 17th person telling me the 17th sob story today. I'm good.
She looked around and she was like, are you filming a movie? Because this sounds a lot like exposition.
And then he has the balls to look offended. When she doesn't care, he's just like, these highbrow people. No, dude, she just doesn't want to hear your bullshit. It's paperwork. It has nothing, like, your story doesn't push you to the front of the line.
He goes to the construction site. He starts there. He meets Frank, who's a co-worker, who takes him to a local, like, shanty town where he can get, like, a shower and a meal. And then Frank gets into his background of, I come from Detroit. My wife and kids are up there. And
haven't seen him in 6 months. Steel mills were laying people off left and right. They finally went under.
What I found funny here is Keith David's character, Frank, invites him, like, hey, I know a place you could stay. It'll be cool.
Yep.
And he just kind of like, Roddy Piper's like, nah, I'm good. If I don't sleep on a construction site, I don't sleep anywhere. I'll just be my drifter self and roam like Kane and Kung Fu. And then starts following him.
Yes.
Right? And then Keith David sees him immediately and is just like, Jesus Christ, this fucking weirdo. And then he finally stops. He's like, dude, what are you following me for? And he's like, I don't follow no man unless I know where he's going. That doesn't make any fucking sense. You're literally following him to where he's going.
And he told you where he's going.
Like, the amount of just airballed one-liners
in
this movie.
So great.
It's like literally my field goal percentage when I used to play basketball. Just 0.0. They're so bad.
So after this, he takes him to the shanty town. Some weird shit starts happening at the church with the preacher and the random outdoor TV that they have hooked up. It's like a homeless drive-in theater. Like, it's just a bunch of people huddled around this box tube TV that's plugged into where, I have no idea.
I was gonna say, dude, somebody on this in Shantytown should be famous and at least have a little money to their name, because they have found the longest extension cord ever invented.
Nada then, he goes in and checks out the church's loud ass choir practice. And the choir practice is a recording. There's a bunch of machinery in this back room of the church. There's cardboard boxes stacked everywhere. And he stumbles upon like a little hidden secret compartment. The street preacher like jumps him.
It just starts groping him. It's like, oh, it's a Catholic church. Good to know.
Well, he feels his face because he's blind, and he's like, oh, you're a grown man. I'll leave you alone. He lets him go. That night, the police come. They surround the church. People are scattering everywhere. The police then turn on the shanty town, which is, this whole thing was kind of weird because they're obviously on the church because, you know, they're doing some shady shit, you know, according to the law, the police, whatever. But then they turn everything onto the shanty town. They got bulldozers just tearing shit down. People are fucking running everywhere. Frank and Roddy Piper, they escape along with everybody else. And
Roddy Piper like steals some kid and is like, come here, the preacher. He's no good for you anymore. He's getting his ass kicked in the alleyway.
Yeah.
We need to go.
The preacher gets beat to death in the little alleyway thing. And so here's the funny thing. So he's just like walking by like, doop-a-doo. Hey, oh shit. Preacher's getting beaten. I'm just going to stand and watch. And the cops are like, hey, cool. Watch this. And they just beat the hell out of this poor guy. As Roddy Piper watches, he grabs the kid. And then after that, the cops are all of a sudden like chasing after him.
Yeah, I didn't understand that either because he's walking by and it makes sense. They're like, hey, we got a black pedophile preacher. Let's just beat the shit out of him, as cops tend to do.
Yes.
And then the white guy walking by, they're like, oh, plaid shirt tucked into your jeans. Clearly you're a man of the people. Please keep walking. And then it's just like, we can't find any more black people to beat up. Let's get Roddy Piper now because he's got a mullet. Clearly he's white trash.
Yes.
Shirt tucked in or not. He's wearing cowboy boots. He's got a weird belt on with like the Apache fucking symbols along the side and his fucking mullet. Get him, he's white trash.
I will say this. His mullet is fantastic. It's just
glorious.
It is glorious. It really
And it doesn't move an inch.
You're right again.
Piper goes and investigates the church again. He takes one of the boxes from the secret compartment because apparently that's the only thing that was left that the cops didn't find. And the secret compartment was kind of obvious, just FYI. So he finds the box.
I mean, it was hidden by a blind guy. What do you expect?
So he takes the box into an alleyway, opens it up, and there's just like cheap sunglasses in there. So he keeps one pair and he stashes the rest in the trash can. So
now this is how bad Roddy Piper, his character, is in this movie, because he somehow manages to find a worse hiding place than the blind guy.
You were correct. It's fact.
My whole thing was when he's putting it in the trash can, and again, I haven't seen this in forever, I was like, do you know when trash day is? Why would you hide it in the trash can? He takes the one pair of sunglasses, puts them on, and starts walking down the street to see the world. It starts to appear in like the shades of gray. All the magazines, the billboards, products, they all have subliminal messages like obey, consume, sleep, don't question authority. And he gets to the newsstand. So he's going through the magazine and he looks at the guy and with the sunglasses still on, and he sees what I guess seems to be what we find out is an alien, but it just looks like a skinned human with bulging eyeballs.
Yeah. Just
And
like
then-
Skeletor with like gems for
Exactly.
eyes. They basically look like the skulls you see like if you're traveling through New Mexico, just like on the roadside.
Pretty much.
Like for sale, $30.
And it's like they just put 2 giant tennis balls in the sockets. So he takes the sunglasses off. He looks like a normal man, and then puts them back on, sees the humanoid figure.
This is one portion of the movie where it's just like, dude, these like alien Skeletor people have no fear whatsoever.
Yes.
Because Roddy Piper is just staring at him the whole time, just on, off with his sunglasses, right?
Yeah.
The guy goes, "What's your fucking problem, buddy?" And Roddy Piper doesn't say anything, and he keeps antagonizing him. Do you know the amount of urine that would spill out of my pants if somebody like Roddy Piper was just glaring at me the whole fucking time?
Yeah, well, and Roddy...
Skeleton or not, I'm pissing myself. That dude's massive.
He sees the paper money in the newspaper guy's hand, and it says, "This is your god." I love that. That's just...
Well, dude, all of this shit, it's... all of the subliminal messaging throughout this movie is fantastic.
Oh, God, yeah. It's
absolutely, because it's spot on.
Yeah,
Money's your god. Marry, reproduce, obey. Just basically, your overlords are your bosses. Is the essential theme of this movie.
Yeah,
the have-nots are slaves to the haves.
He then goes into a local grocery store and insults one of like the humanoid alien people with some, I mean, can we call it rather pedestrian insults?
You look like your head fell on the cheese dip back in 1957. You're okay. This one, real fucking ugly.
The best line he uses, he even like says it weirdly, like formaldehyde face.
Formaldehyde face. That's what we got.
That's enough out of you.
And then he like has to throw the fucking slightly racial jab at the guy who's like, "Hey, buddy, I'll call the cops." Like, "Oh, call the cops."
You get out or I call the cops.
Call the cops? You know what you need? You need a Brazilian plastic surgeon.
That dude's huge. That's a working dude. He's human. You ain't got the luxury to be racist anymore, George.
Pump
you gotta
the brakes.
keep your shit together.
Pump the brakes. We're all on the same team here, okay? Like, he's human. It's good. The lady at the grocery store starts talking into her like wristwatch, giving his description and saying that he can see. He then goes, he gets jumped by 2 cops that find him.
Yep.
He wrestles with the cops. He wrestles the gun away, shoots them both, steals their shotgun, and then he goes into the bank.
Accidentally wanders into the bank because here's the cop cars coming.
Which is always great to duck into a bank with a shotgun in your hand. And then he gives the legendary line.
Best line in the movie.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
And he starts shooting at all like the aliens. It's just like a murder fest. He's like, fuck it. I'm just going to start killing everybody in here.
What I like about this scene, it's post-line, pre-murder spree, is you hear a woman after the "I'm all out of bubblegum." You just hear a woman go,
all out of bubblegum.
That line literally took an extra's breath away. Phenomenal.
Absolutely.
And then for some reason, he has like this souped-up Call of Duty shotgun that has the fucking range of a 50 caliber sniper rifle, because he's just greasing dudes like
and accuracy
50 yards away. Oh
yeah,
pinpoint if you notice, when he hits something, it's a bullet. When he misses something, you see the actual shotgun spread all over the signs and shit.
He gives another great line here after seeing another humanoid alien.
Mama don't like tattletales.
Because the alien's on his watch like, "Oh, I got the guy over here and he's got a mullet and a fucking gun." And then the dude disappears. He does something to his watch and he just disintegrates, evaporates, and he go bye-bye.
Yep. He went into his Skeletor alien hole.
Yeah. So he goes to a parking garage. This is where he forces Holly at gunpoint to take him to her house in like the Hollywood Hills. At Holly's house, he takes off the sunglasses because apparently
These glasses makes you high, but you come down hard.
This is the brilliance of John Carpenter here, because Meg Foster gets actual dialogue.
Yes.
David gets actual dialogue.
Yes.
Every real actor gets actual. Barney, the bum you see that completely disappears until the very end, gets actual dialogue. He turns into Barney exposition by the end of this thing. He fills in all of the gaps. Roddy Piper is simply held to one-liners.
Yes.
And you see that a little bit later when he starts talking about his daddy and that whole fucking weird monologue.
Yes.
And you're like, oh, that's why you have no lines. Cool.
At Holly's house, he tries to convince Holly then that about what's happening and aliens and yada yada. She doesn't believe him. Holly tells him that she's an executive at a local TV station, and he gets a boner as soon as she says this. And he's like, yeah. He goes right for the TV. Like, I got to turn the TV on and show you some shit.
Here's what I don't understand about Holly. Like, nobody wants to put on these sunglasses. He's literally begging any human alive, please fucking put these on. And everybody's like, nah, I'm good.
Take a look.
Holly's explanation is,
if you want me to look through your sunglasses, I'll look through your sunglasses. If I don't see what you see, I'm gonna see it anyway.
No, put on the fucking glasses and you'll see that.
Well,
you'll see what you're gonna see.
Yeah, well,
I understand later on we figure out some shit funky, but right now he doesn't know that. And
how about you just put the sunglasses on and placate the little crazy man? Can we just do that? Like, everybody's so adamant about not putting the sunglasses on. Like, I don't know, you're going to stick needles in my eye. Like, I don't know why they don't want to put the sunglasses on, but it's like, dude, just put the sunglasses on, placate the crazy man, and maybe crazy man will go away. We good with that?
Yeah.
So,
and she is the most defiant for giving a speech about how you're the boss, you're in charge, don't hurt me, we're cool.
Yeah.
And then she just is the most defiant asshole in the world.
Well, the best part...
He's like, put these sunglasses on. No. Hey, listen to what I'm trying to tell you. I don't care. I'm thirsty. Don't fuck with me, lady. What does she do? Whack, fucks with him, sends him flying out a window, for Christ's sakes.
That's the best part. Like, he goes, because he gets, boner time because she works at the TV station. And then he's like, oh, dude, let me turn on the TV because you work at a TV station. Do you know how one of these works? And she's like, yeah, dope. Let's watch fucking Who's the Boss? And then she smacks him with the bottle of champagne and then pushes him out a very thin window. Like, he goes crashing through this fucking window with ease. And then...
And force.
Yes. And down all of the Hollywood Hills. Like, so after this, he sneaks back to the construction site to tell Frank what he found out, like all the shit that's going on and all the hijinks. Yep. Frank knows that Piper is a wanted man for killing 2 cops in the middle of the street, which, by the way, he's shooting off a gun when he kills the cops. Not a single, but like, people are walking in the background. Nobody even looks in their direction.
Dude, it's downtown Los Angeles.
True. So he knows he's a wanted man. He's like, yo, I'm not talking to you. Like, I got a wife and kids. Leave me the fuck alone. Yep. He returns to the alley where he stashed the sunglasses. And the box is mysteriously gone. And all the garbage cans are empty. Oh my God. I can't believe that the garbage men came up and picked the trash up.
It's only been a week and a half since you got there.
So,
come on.
He opens it just so happens that he's there when the trash men are there. He opens the back of the garbage truck and jumps in the back. Now, he's a lot smarter than me because I wouldn't even know how to open up the back of a garbage truck if I was given 20 minutes. He does it in 3 seconds. He's like, oh, dope. Here's this thing. I'm going to crank this and the whole back opens. He jumps in. He finds the box of sunglasses, and I use the term sunglasses loosely because there's like 2 jiggling around in the box.
Right. What was left in the box, he could have easily put in his pockets.
Yes, exactly. So
no sweat.
He then sees that Frank is human, right? Because Frank comes and finds him, and he throws him a wad of cash. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure this dude only worked 1 day at the construction site.
And Frank gives him a week's worth of pay.
Yeah, he gives him a wad of cash. He's like, I did what I could for you. Well, you did more than you should have because he worked
you got
for
a
a
wife
day.
and kid in Detroit, bitch.
Pocket that shit. What's your problem?
That's right.
So they then get into this whole back and forth. Roddy Piper wants him to wear put the sunglasses on. I don't want to put the sunglasses on.
Try these on. Put these on.
Hey, stay away from me.
Either put on these glasses or start eating that trash can.
This then leads to them getting into it has to be the longest fight scene in movie history. It's almost 7 minutes.
Oh yeah, it's long as shit.
It's fantastic, but it's like, what I really liked about it is that it's real. Like, they're beating the shit out of each other, and then they're like, oh Jesus, I gotta take a break. Like, oh, I'm getting a little old for this. Like, give me a second. And then they fucking start going back at it. He's trying to get the forcibly put the sunglasses on Frank's head. And then there's a lot of knees to the nuts. Frank goes ham on Roddy Piper's nuts right now. He just knees him like 6-7 times in the nuts.
Oh, dude, his testicles look like mashed potatoes at this point.
This is what I love about movies. Movies are so great. Because, if anybody out there has ever been in a fight, that's not how shit works. Like, if you get punched in the face, you're pretty much done for the day. There's no 7-minute fight. And if you get kneed in the nuts 6 times, you're done. You're not fighting for a good 6 months. You're not fighting.
Dude, there's throw up all over you. There's piss and shit everywhere. Like, you would be a mess, and you wouldn't be able to help it. That's what getting kicked in the nuts repeatedly will do to you.
You're goddamn right.
Frank then finally puts the sunglasses on, and he finally sees everything that Roddy Piper's been seeing. So they join forces, and then they check into a hotel and get in contact with the group from the church. Yeah. They both go to this local meeting of, the quote unquote underground.
This is scarily looks like a militia.
Yes.
Like, let's just say this looks like a meeting to kidnap a governor, more so than it does like a revolutionary resistance team.
You are correct, sir.
They trade in their sunglasses for the new technology of contact lenses that do the same thing. Here's the thing that I didn't like about this scene. Although the scene's good because Holly shows up, she tells Roddy Piper that she believes him and she put the sunglasses on and yada yada, so that's why she's there. And the cops burst in and they just start slaughtering everybody. They're coming in with machine guns. What I didn't like about this was when Frank and Nada get to the place, there's full tables of weapons and grenades and assault rifles and handguns and yada yada. I think I saw the resistance people shoot like 3 times. Bro, you have like 30, 40 people there. Everybody's got assault rifles and weapons. One guy tries to throw a grenade and blows himself up because he gets shot because it takes forever for him to get the fucking grenade out of his hand. He like tries to Tim Tebow it from back here and he's like, okay,
He's busy doing the Uncle Rico pose.
Yeah, exactly. They learn at this meeting, though, that the primary method that the aliens are taking control is through the signal being sent out on TV.
Correct. And I have a quick question going back to the meeting. Yes. And this was kind of a trend throughout this movie. One of the side characters in this is a middle-aged white dude.
Yes.
Who's constantly got his arm around his daughter. His blonde daughter.
They're
just like in every shantytown scene, and then he's the guy who's like, I say we start spilling blood ourselves.
Time to stop talking about it, trying to figure out how it happened. Now we start spilling some blood.
Yeah.
That guy's a fucking dink, and I don't want him in the movie anymore. I don't like it. I don't. Just his whole thing is creepy as shit. One, quit touching your fucking daughter all the time. It's gross.
Is she the daughter that's like, Daddy, I got a headache?
Daddy, I have a headache.
Me too, honey.
When they're watching the TV? Okay.
Yep. And then there's this one quick scene where he's advocating, like, we start spilling the blood. And the resistance leader tells him why that's stupid. We got to recruit more people, blah, blah, blah. And at the very end of his speech, he goes, and fucking freezes. It's like they were supposed to cut, but didn't. And it's just, it hangs there in a still frame for a long fucking time, like the Zoom call got frozen.
After this whole, like, underground thing gets busted up by the cops, Piper and Frank escape into the alley behind the building. They get away with the help of one of, like, the wristwatch devices that they get at this meeting. And it teleports them to an underground facility. Basically, a hole opens up, they go in it, and they're in this underground facility to which there's nobody that questions that. There's nobody even in the hallways of this place. And they go into this meeting. Everybody's, black tie, tuxedos. They're dressed like homeless people. And again, they're walking through the back of this whole thing as the speaker's like, we just raided the thing and we're the best. And thanks for your cooperation, all you humans that are exposition. And they run into, and again, nobody questions them. And then they run into homeless Harry, who shows up, and you haven't seen him since the beginning. And he's like, oh, they recruited you too, and you should have dressed up for this. And I used to be homeless, and now I'm a millionaire because aliens. And now let me show you around the entire facility. And again,
I've been here a day and a half. I got carte blanche to go anywhere, bitch.
I have access to everything. And
the hubris shown by the aliens and their human subordinates is remarkable.
Well, and the funny thing is, like, the homeless Harry, I don't even know his name in this, but he actually says, Barney. So he actually says,
let me tell you, they got their act together. Believe you me.
When he shows them the little transporter where you can transport to the, different planets or wherever. Yeah. And he's like, these guys really got their shit together. No, they don't. Because you're obviously taking these two guys just willy-nilly around the whole facility into the TV studio where they're broadcasting all the alien bullshit. And you're like, hey, I know I've been here for 20 minutes, but these two guards, they're my best friends. Hey, can we get into the TV studio? What the fuck is going on here?
Two homeless guys haven't eaten since the movie started.
Yes.
Right? They had one meal, and that's it.
Yep.
Then here we go. Haven't eaten, haven't showered, wearing the same shit they have been, used all of their energy beating the shit out of each other to the point where they can barely walk at the end of this movie. They're just like creeping through the whole fucking TV studio and everywhere. And this is what's going to thwart you. And you got the balls to look at me in the face and tell me these guys got their shit together? Why? Because they can planet hop?
They get to the TV station. Frank and Piper kill the alien guards. Homeless Harry escapes by teleporting himself out. He's just like, deuces, I'm setting off the alarm. Beep, boop, 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 beep. And he's gone. They get into the TV studio. They're looking for Holly because they know Holly works at the TV studio. And then it's
really weird in and of itself. Like Holly, that they would think she's there. Not that because we know what her story is.
Yes.
But they're like, hey, last time I saw Holly, we were all in the streets getting shot at by police officers. Clearly, she came to work tonight. Let's look for her.
Well, she had a shift. She had to be there. You know how the TV business is. She don't show up. She fired. Oh. That's a no call, no show. Holly finds them. They're running through the TV studio. They're trying to get to the roof so they can, I don't know, shoot at the satellite dish thing so that they can kill the signal and everybody can see the humanoid alien people for what they are. And again, I loved this whole thing, but they could have spent just a touch more time. Like, I don't know, 10 more seconds on the fact that, Roddy Piper just goes, "You ready to go? Let's go." Boom. And he shoots up the stairs, just assuming that they're right behind him. And it's a quick shot of Holly coming up behind Frank, putting a gun to his head. They cut away back to Piper, and he's dead. Frank's dead. She just shoots him in the head. I just wish they would have spent just a half a second more time on that than they did.
I don't think Frank needed to die at all.
I don't think Frank needed to die either. But
Frank is so smart. He's collected. He's with it. Even when he starts seeing the aliens, he doesn't freak out nearly as bad as Roddy Piper did.
Yes. Yep.
Through this whole movie. And he's just like, oh, this is Roddy Piper's girlfriend, so clearly she must be cool.
On the up and up.
I'll walk in front of her.
Yeah.
So that's like picking up a hitchhiker and letting him sit in the back seat.
Yeah. Piper's up at the roof, I don't know, staring at the dish for a minute, just sizing it up instead of
he's going back through his life and remembering everything that brought him to this monumental moment. And he's just thinking about how the world is going to be such a better place.
Because of him.
Once he destroys this dish and communism and socialism take over America. Sorry. I got stuck.
That was weird. She comes up behind him, pulls the gun on him. The police helicopter comes up. He shoots her with his like hidden sleeve gun thing. And then
he's hiding a Derringer.
Well, and I saw it earlier. There's an earlier clip when they're talking and he's got the gun and he's like stuffing a gun like in his sleeve. And I'm like, oh, that's coming up later. So she's dead. The cop / alien on the helicopter shoots him and he shoots the satellite dish with, again, his little pea shooter and it explodes. And in his last like literal fuck you moment, he flicks off the police in the helicopter and he dies on the roof. The broadcast signal is then dismantled, apparently, and destroyed. And the people around LA, and I'm assuming around the country or the world, are able to see the aliens for what they are now. So there's different shots, seeing them on TV, at the bar, and the final scene, of course, because you have to, having sex with the alien and the dude sitting up like,
"Hey, what's wrong, baby?"
And then end scene, end movie.
Such a great ending to a movie. It's so fucking stupid.
It's such a great ending. I loved it.
Such a great ending. I love that these guys have it together.
Yeah.
Yet their plan is thwarted by a Derringer and a satellite dish so shoddily put together, it literally explodes
on impact.
Shot by a Derringer.
Yes.
Like, I don't think my skin would be punctured if you shot me with that little fucking gun. You're gonna blow up an entire satellite dish? They make the Empire look fucking good for only having one little problem with the Death Star.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's how your whole plan can be thwarted. And I get it. You're fighting a superior, intelligent alien race. You can't just be like, bang, bang, we're going to shoot our way out of this.
Yeah.
It just seemed like there should have been, like, plant some C4, put a little effort into the explosion you're about to create.
Yeah.
And again, you can still have everyone go down with the ship, right? Let's just rewind a second. Have Frank pull a John McClane. Holly goes to shoot him, and he's like, what am I, fucking stupid, Hans? Takes the gun away from her, smashes her head into the stairwell wall. He walks up, They plant explosives around the satellite dish. Police still show up, shoot them both. Derringer hits the explosives. Everybody wins. Movie ends the same way.
That
Titties.
Hey, what's wrong, baby?
That's the only one big problem that I had with this. Other than that, though, the movie is a little dated, obviously because of Piper's mullet that doesn't move, and a few other things like that. It screams 80s.
Yes.
But I still think this movie holds up because
100%.
the message and everything in this movie and what this movie is about is so 20, like it relates to everything in 2020. Like that's still a thing.
100%.
You know,
very much so.
All of the, you know, marketing messages and, you know, the government and companies that are trying to sell you shit just want to keep you, you know, fat and stupid and, you know, go to work, fuck, and go to sleep and buy our shit. Like that's all of the messaging from this movie still holds up for, you know, to today's standards. I would, even though, you know, John Carpenter hates when people remake his shit, I would love to see this get a reboot and updated to, and literally you can have almost everything be the same. You don't have to change very much of anything except for like the ending and maybe a couple of things here and there. I would love to see this get rebooted with just a new 2020 look to it.
You're goddamn right.
Yeah, even though Keith David and Meg Foster do a fantastic job, yeah, you're still, this isn't Dances with Wolves. You're in it to watch some weird shit from John Carpenter's brain, so you know it's weird and synthesized, and you're going to just, it's a good time, a good movie, and if somehow the overall message still falls on deaf ears, it doesn't take away from what the overall movie experience is.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's just, this movie is, even, you know, in 1988, even if you don't reboot it, this particular movie is just, because it's still so relevant and it's just a good, fun movie. It's still a good watch. Like I still,
totally.
It's still super entertaining. I'll watch anything John Carpenter puts together. He could just film bullshit for a half an hour. I'm like, did you see the new John Carpenter shit? Like, I'll watch whatever he puts out. But yeah, I still think it holds up. I still think it holds up. I still think I would like to see a reboot though.
Yes,
that's all I got.
Please.
But do you have anything else?
Nada, sir.
Well, for Corey,
I'm gonna go chew bubblegum.
I got George Nada. So for Corey, I'm Armando.
God.
This was 1988's They Live.
Twat us on Twitter.